Welcome back. Today I'm gonna make some Salisbury steak and I'm gonna grind my own beef up. I got it sitting on a chuck roast, so I'm gonna slice this chuck roast down, run it through the meat grinder.
This is a 3-pound chuck roast.
And make some Salisbury steak. This is a pretty lean piece of chuck roast. It doesn't have too much fat, so I have some additional fat that I put up from when I did my prime rib. Okay, I'm gonna give this a quick rinse. Okay, we're gonna just slice this up. Okay, that's the meat. Now let's cut up some of this fat. Want about a 80, 20, 75, 25 ratio, meat and fat. Okay, we're gonna run this through the meat grinder. Okay, that's how you mince your chuck roast to make you some Salisbury steak. Now we definitely can't control what they're feeding the cows, but when you grind your own meat up fresh like that, you know there's no additives, preservatives, steroids, or anything like that. So fresh minced meat is always best. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put this in a big bowl and get started seasoning for Salisbury steaks. Okay, I didn't mix the fat with the meat in here yet because I don't want to over mix it. So what I'm gonna do is just spread it out, season it, and then mix it. So I'm gonna just I have some seasonings that I made, and I'm not sure what's in here. I'm sure it's paprika and garlic and thyme and garlic powder, onion powder. Everything's already blended in here. So I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit of this in here. It's salty because I taste it, so I don't need any salt. Some Pittsburgh Heinz ketchup, of course. And probably a 1/4 cup. Some off-brand Worcestershire sauce. And I'm gonna add a little sriracha in this. Kick it up a little bit.
About 2 tablespoons of Worcester and 2 eggs.
Okay, we're just gonna get in here and mix this up. Put a little breadcrumbs in here too, some panko, plain breadcrumbs.
Probably about a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs.
I'm gonna get in here with my clean hands. Now, if this was meatballs or meatloaf, then I would add my onions and garlic and even celery and peppers into my meatloaf or meatballs. But this is Salisbury steak, so I'm just going with the seasoning blend, and I'll add the onions and that stuff to the gravy. And we're also working the fat, because I added extra fat when I ground up the chuck roast. We're adding the fat as we're mixing into the lean meat. And I have my grill pan on, and I'm gonna form these into patties, probably 6 to 7 ounce patties. And we're gonna get them going. Be right back. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and make about 7 ounce patties using this square cookie cutter.
This cookie cutter automatically makes 7-ounce patties.
Just press it down in here really good. Make sure you get in all the corners. Okay, lift it up. And there we go. Now we're gonna just mold this slightly to make it oval. And there we go. cookie cutter. Put our meat in there. Press down on all your corners. Flatten it out. Take it out the cutter. And mold to an oval. Flatten it down. Flatten it out. Okay, I got 4 7-ounce Salisbury steaks, shaped, molded, flattened out equally. Now I'm ready to put them on the grill pan. Okay, while those Salisbury steaks are cooking, I'm gonna start on the rest of my dinner. I'm gonna just cut these Brussels sprouts just like that. I'm gonna be sauteing these or boiling these slightly and then roasting them. Nice, big, beautiful Brussels sprouts. I think I get these from Aldi's. Great place for produce. Okay, those are all cut. Now I'm going to cut up an onion. This is for our gravy for our Salisbury steaks. Now, while I was at my local supermarket, I forgot to buy some fresh mushrooms, but I do have a can of mushrooms that I'm going to add to this later on. But I like my fresh mushrooms. But can't remember everything. This is a rough chop. You don't want it diced, but you don't want it thick rings either. Got about 4 little cloves of garlic I'm going to use also. But I'm not going to put this with the onions because the onions will go first. Okay, I also have a couple green chilies I'm going to put in with the Brussels sprouts. Mild heat, but heat no doubt. Okay, we're going to cook those along with the Brussels sprouts. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is quickly steam these Brussels sprouts.
I boiled off some cut up potatoes in a pot.
When I do my mashed potatoes, I mix them before I add anything. If you mix them before you add anything, you will have no lumps. Next thing I add is butter. Either just regular butter, salt, and pepper mashed potatoes. No garlic, no sour cream, none of that. I can add the pepper too and salt. Okay, let's give that a mix. If you have everything room temperature, you don't have to worry about anything. It's when you start putting cold stuff with hot stuff is when you have problems. Now my milk is cold, but my mashed potatoes are already mashed. Now we'll add a splash of milk. Get a little bit of parsley here. Okay, that's it. Perfect.
When the sprouts were almost done, I added some slithers of carrots to them. Salt, pepper, butter, and olive oil.
Okay, we're going to put this in the oven on 400 for about 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, here's our pan drippings from the Salisbury steak. We're going to go with a little bit more oil, some extra virgin olive oil, onions. Throw some mushrooms in. Throw our garlic in. I'm going to add some fresh thyme from the garden I just picked. This is a medium-low heat, so my garlic won't burn. Okay, we're going to add some salt, some black pepper. Okay, at this point, we're going to add a couple tablespoons of flour. Okay, at this point, we're going to add some beef broth. Some water. We're going to allow this to come to a boil. Okay, it came up to a nice boil. You can see it's starting to thicken. At this point, we're going to add our Salisbury steaks back in. We're just going to allow this to cook down.
I added a splash of Worcestershire sauce and some whole allspice or pimento. I added a little parsley on top, and here it goes. Salisbury steak dinner made from freshly ground chuck roast, some homemade mashed potatoes, and a Brussel sprouts with green chilies and carrots. Look at the richness on that gravy. Let's get a taste of this. Look at that. Is right, because this was delicious. And thanks for watching Kurt's Home Living.